Bespoke jitter charts, a jitter stacked bar chart, and this is what it looks like. We are going to use the same jitter effect, same jitter technique, but we are going to use some calculated fields to actually stack the different segments on top of each other to create this interesting effect. So let's get to it. Let's open up Tableau Desktop. The first thing we are going to do is to load our super full data set. So let's click on Microsoft Excel, locate our file, double click. Let's drag orders onto the query panel. Make sure our data is showing up, and let's click on sheet 1. As before, we're going to create some calculated fields. Let's create our first one, which will be our random function. Nice and simple. What we are then going to do is create a few additional ones. So we're going to create a level of detail expression called segment cells, and here we are going to create a fixed expression to calculate the cells in each individual segment. Nice and simple. Now we're going to create another calculation, but this time a table calculation. BC segment width. And we are just going to do a running sum of the max level of detail expression. We'll revisit this in a moment. Let's click apply. Let's click OK. Now let's start building out our data visualization tower. Let's take, firstly, order date, drop it onto filters. Let's make things a bit more efficient by filtering to 2020. Let's take region and drop that onto rows. Let's take our random and drop that onto rows as well. Let's convert this to a dimension. And then let's take our TC segment width and drop it into columns. Don't worry, we are going to edit a lot of things as we go. Let's take our product name and drop that into detail. So now we should have loads of different stuff here. Let's take our segment and move that onto color. So we seem to have a lot of different points, but now we just need to adjust our table calculation. And I want us to make sure that segments, product, and random are selected. It's going to be order. Here we go. Because we want to calculate for each segment, each product name, and each random, we want them to be considered in our calculation, and we want this to be reset at each region. So if you think about it, what we've done is we've created a calculation or LOD to calculate this value, and then we've used the running sum, this T segment width, to create the rest. Well, to stack them on top of each other. So from here, we are in a very similar position as before. It's primarily cosmetics now. But what I want us to do is remove the header. We don't need to see this anymore. Let's remove the header from the columns as well. Let's format. Let's remove the zero lines, the grid lines, the axis ruler. Let's get rid of that. On the format borders, let's get rid of the column divider. And as always, let's do a dash for the row dividers. We can hide region. Let's rename the sheet Jitter Stacked Bar Chart. Let's take cells and drop that onto size. Let's increase the size a bit so we can really have some impact. Let's set the color opacity to 80%. And we're almost there. What I want us to do now is finally to create a TC cells, which again we've done plenty of times before. I want us to drop this in between region and random. I want us to right click, convert this to discrete, and now I want us to edit table calculation. And with the same as before, region, product, and segment. Now you can see the value. We can format the sales value. So let's make this Tableau bold. Let's make this 12. Set the currency to United States. And how about 1 decimal place 5,000? So now we have the region, we have the amount per region, and now we can see the total amount split by segment, or at least you can see a visual representation. You can also highlight the products which are the high points. So I hope this has been interesting. The key is we use the level of detail to calculate the sales value for segment. We then use the running sum or table calculation to basically stack the different segments on top of each other. So if you need to, please revisit the tutorial, have some fun, explore this, and hopefully I'll see you in the next lesson.